You're listening to the Future of Convenience podcast, featuring senior retail executives and experts in the global convenience and mobility industry.
Welcome to the Future of Convenience podcast. I'm Dan Munford, delighted to be here in Sydney, recording a podcast with 7-Eleven Australia. Matt Keogh, you're the Chief Commercial Officer. Welcome to Future of Convenience podcast.
Thanks, Dan. Great to be here.
Before we get started, I want to tell you a bit about our sponsor, Calibrate. If you're making fuel and convenience planning decisions, you need insight you can trust. Calibrate has over 50 years' experience working with retail fuel operators. With data and software to help you forecast fuel and C-store volume at site and network level, Calibrate gives you the confidence to prioritise projects that deliver the best return on your investment, grow market share, outperform your competition, and allocate capital to where it really matters. Visit calibrate.com to learn more.
Tell us a bit about your business in the Australian market in terms of your numbers of sites, where your proposition is at the moment.
Yeah, so 7-Eleven has been in Australia serving the community for almost 50 years now. We have a pretty large footprint of over 750 stores and growing rapidly across the eastern seaboard and also Western Australia. So that includes Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria. We have a compelling proposition in terms of food-led, digitally enabled proposition. Our foundation and purpose is around making every day easier for the Australian community, and that ambition transcends through everything we do, for the way we design our stores, to the way we curate and ranges and products within stores, to investment we make in digital experiences. We have quite a compelling ambition as well, which is quite bold, and that's for every Australian to recognise us as my convenient local store in their neighbourhood. And that means that we need to have quite a large footprint to show up in that way. So as we know, convenience retail is evolving, our range is evolving to meet those needs. We have a quite aggressive expansion plan in place. So we're looking to double our footprint by 2034, have more than 1,000 stores by 2030. But it's not just about the physical environment too, it's also about digital. So our digital offer and experience to date in e-commerce is roughly 7% of our total sales and growing rapidly. We launched in terms of marketplaces. We have now our own 7NOW digital platform, which is connected with our loyalty program and personalisation. So we're looking at how we show up in the daily lives of consumer, which are far more digitally led, on an omnichannel basis and physical through to e-commerce.
Well, I'd love to come back to the digital side in a minute, but just stepping back a minute and thinking about you, Matt. How long have you been in the industry yourself, and what gets you up in the morning? What motivates you in your job?
Yeah, good question. I've been in the industry more than 30 years, consumer-led industry. So I started more in the hospitality side of the business, retail, FMCG. So that transcended from small hospitality, hotel-led businesses through to large grocery formats, department stores, fashion, back into convenience, both local and internationally, across numerous different markets. Living in South Africa for over 4 years as well during that journey. But love the fast pace of the consumer-led environment. Particularly in terms of it's constantly changing, how we innovate and evolve. I love growth, love transformation. So that's what really drives me. I've had a lot of opportunities to transform businesses in the past and be a part of those journeys, where customer centricity is absolute key, heart of everything you do, and steers the convenience industry as a whole. But what's most exciting is also the people you meet, the environment in which we operate. People are the foundation of everything we do. How you create high performance cultures and lead is what's really exciting, and particularly developing the generation of tomorrow.
Well, thinking about that generation of tomorrow and some of the things you said in your first comments around your expansion plans and what you're doing online, thinking about consumer needs in Australia for the future, and let's call it Gen Z, where are you positioning for that? And it sounds like you're getting some good traction.
We are. So I think if you look at the Australian population, it's ever evolving. So they're time poor, they're looking to shop across channel based on value. They're looking at global brands and trends. So we need to evolve our offer to meet that needs. Speed, value, convenience is key, quality, and personalisation. We play forward to 2030, we're serving 6 different generations of customers in our stores. So the way we show up, the offers of range we deliver, the experience we offer are key. Gen Z is a big part of that offer. The way we offer ranges and products exclusive to a 7-Eleven today, the latest trends we're seeing globally, they're digital natives, they're connected, they're socially influenced, so we need to bring those trends to the market. We're doing that through partners here within Australia in terms of the way we show up, but also we're bringing the latest global brands to the market through collaborations into Australia. It's not just about the product and range though, it's also about experiences with Gen Z. So the way we're turning up with Gen Z, the experience we're providing, collaborating are key. We've just recently launched the very first rave in Convenience Australia with a 7-Eleven store, where we sold tickets for $7.11, sold out within minutes. We had a great lineup of DJs and talent to bring a different experience through our partners in Celsius and Suntory to that market. We've just recently had the Australian Grand Prix, where in collaboration with Red Bull, we've collaborated to bring Slurpee Red Bull to the market first globally. So how we're collaborating, providing experiences very differently is key to the success of Gen Z.
I think that's really interesting. So, I mean, you're with some of those ideas, you're making an emotional connection with Gen Z, and that's what they're looking for, is it?
Absolutely right. It's not just about the liquid or the product you're providing. It's a brand which is an extension of them. They're very socially connected, so they're looking for an experience as well, but also looking for value. So you need to put that formula together to provide the opportunity for them. So a big part of what we do when we look to innovate, we look to provide, the latest brands to them. A big focus around, from an innovation point of view, is we look to merchandise offers being the home of innovation. So we look for packaged beverage, look for confectionery and snacking, and bringing the latest brands to the market exclusive to them, or try here first.
And do you feel the industry has looking broadly beyond 7-Eleven? Do you think the industry is managing to get closer to this generation with their quite different approach to shopping?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the industry is doing it in different ways. Depending on convenience, they've got some convenience operators being more fuel-led than convenience-led. 7-Eleven is probably a balance, more convenience-led than fuel. So we've been kind of transferring our shop offer sooner. One of the things I'm passionate about being part of ACTS is actually how we help the industry transform. We're looking to stay ahead of those industry trends and looking at a far bigger market in convenience, particularly the eyes on the broader food service business. And that's where we need to stay ahead and make sure that we're transforming to be relevant to our consumers. But Gen Z will be the future of that convenience offer.
100%. Let's stay on food service and just think about the innovations you're putting into 7-Eleven there. Where are you scoring well?
So food service and being food-led is a big part of our proposition. Our strategy is being the food and beverage destination within Australia. To do that, we've really focused and transformed the quality and value proposition with our business. If you look at some of our ranges, particularly around our Japanese-inspired ranges, sushi, onigiri, gyoza. We've brought the egg salad sando roll from Japan to Australia. We've got our core offers and fresh sandwiches delivered daily, with hot pastry being core to that proposition, but really expanding now into sliced pizza, whole pizza ranges. We've got fried capability in stores with chicken chips and fried offers being core. So we're providing that breadth of offer at great value and great quality to the consumer. And that's where we're really focused around food service and the way forward. I think the opportunity is it's a bigger fish bigger sea to catch fish in. I think if you look at the proposition as a whole within Australia, the food business is approximately 1.6 billion. Within that, there's a $60 billion business, which is really food on the go mission. So that captures convenience, captures QSR, cafes, restaurants, and food on the go mission within grocery. So it's which is actually 6 times the size of the convenience industry. So we've actually got eyes on that broader proposition in terms of how we're relevant to the consumer, given particularly now the consumer is far more channel agnostic in terms of food business being shopping and big box shopping and convenience shopping and QSR. So you need to be relevant providing that food service destination for the future.
Thinking about other, if you like, players that are targeting Gen Z with exciting food service propositions, are you seeing a new generation of competitors in that space as well?
We are. So as I mentioned, the channel's becoming, from a food business, it's becoming integrated and seamless. Consumers looking at value and shopping across, and I think e-commerce has actually accentuated that. So convenience is one of the areas which we're looking to transform. If you look at some of the headwinds we face as an industry, particularly around tobacco decline, it was, when I started in 2021, it was 40% of our total sales. It's now down to single digits. We've had to offset that through growth and innovation in food. So food is that future. On the longer term, you'll see fuel sales probably stagnate and come off with the emergence of hybrids in this market in particular. So we need to transform, and I think the industry is transforming. I'm passionate about 7-Eleven transforming and becoming that food-led destination. We're well and truly on that journey. But as an industry, we also need to transform. As the old saying goes, a tide lifts all boats. We need the industry to transform with us to provide that solution.
I'm sure that's true. Where do you get your ideas from? Obviously, this is a creative market. I always see new stuff when I come here, but where do you go to outside of the market to get ideas?
Yeah, really good question. I think obviously Australia is innovative to your point, but we're always looking abroad. So I think we're looking to the US, Europe and Japan and Asia more broadly given our relationship with Japan with 7-Eleven. But US is a strong market for the latest brands, innovation, development, particularly in digital as well. Europe more so for our fresh food range and cuisine in terms of how we're showing up there and some of the digital and back-end experiences from a value chain perspective, looking to that market, and then Asia more generally in terms of more localised cuisine ranges to support our offer.
And just looking at retail technology and some of the, obviously I've just been in Asia for a week looking at some of the implementations of AI and so on. Yeah. It's quite exciting. Is there anything you can talk about there?
Yeah, so probably the big one for us is 7-Eleven Australia. I think we've been on a merchandise transformation journey for some time, and in that we've looked at how we increase the capability of improving our processes, invest in systems to stay ahead of not even just best practice in Australia, but global trends. So in that we've invested a lot in new systems and platforms which are AI enabled. So things like dynamic pricing in terms of how we're improving availability and forecasting, cook schedules are AI enabled in store, all key to how we're transforming, how we're managing space from a macro point of view to micro, or AI enabled these days. So we're working smarter, but at the same time, some of the customer-facing activities we do in terms of frictionless payments, self-checkouts, through to apps and self-checkout on the phone is core to the whole experience end-to-end.
I was just stepping back and thinking about the expansion of the brand, in terms of numbers of sites across Australia, and looking into the 2030s. It's an aggressive expansion, isn't it? I mean, it's an exciting expansion.
It's a very exciting expansion. So we have our footprint predominantly is in more CBD and suburban locations, and we're expanding to more regional locations. But when you're doubling the size of your footprint and aggressively improving your digital experience, it is an exciting part of the business to be in. So we're looking to the new locations. A lot of that is organic increase in terms of footprint, but we'll also look to small acquisitions over time to fast track that development as well.
Now, you're also mindful of the whole industry, and you're a very keen supporter of Axe, aren't you? Just perhaps explain a little bit about, let's give Theo his due. Axe play an important role in the industry here, don't they?
Axe play an extremely important role within the industry. I think, as I mentioned, I've talked about 7-Eleven transforming. As I mentioned earlier, I think the industry needs to transform as a whole. And Axe are playing a prominent role in terms of sharing best practice insights, global trends to the local community. Events like we are today, or this week, play an important role. It's all about how the community comes together to work better, to evolve as well. Axe, you're at the forefront of influencing that direction. And I think as an industry, we are focused on a food and beverage future. So Axe play that kind of role in terms of how we're actually staying ahead of the rest of those trends.
I really agree with you. Optimistic about the future? I think I know the answer to that.
I'm certainly optimistic about the future. We do have some headwinds though as an industry we're facing. I mentioned about tobacco decline. I mentioned about fuel potentially coming off over time. It's a challenge environment we operate within Australia at the moment. We've got some headwinds in terms of consumer sentiment and cost of living challenges. We just had an inflation increase last night. But I'm extremely optimistic about how we evolve as an industry to stay ahead of those challenges.
Matt, thanks for talking to us today. Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for listening to the Future of Convenience podcast, produced by Dan Munford, Jenna Ferguson, and Lorraine Evans. It is produced and edited and mixed by Carolyn Schneer, and music is provided by Jukebox Music. Learn more at globalconvenience.com. Before you go, it's Carolyn over here. Voting is now open through June 4th for the Smartest Store in the World competition. The Smartest Store in the World competition is an exciting one from Insight Research and is focused on the innovative adoption of new technologies around the world. The top 12 entries are online for you to vote to crown this year's winner. Those entries, as well as the other amazing ones we received, are all online. Head over to globalconvenience.com now to check out the 21 smartest stores, find some inspiration and new ideas, and of course follow us on LinkedIn for further coverage. Voting closes on June 4th, and the winner will be announced in mid-June both online and at the NACS Convenience Summit Europe in Warsaw, Poland. The Smartest Store in the World competition is hosted by Insight Research and NACS, along with Accenture serving as the official knowledge partner. It's also sponsored by Invenco, Plexor, and VenHub. Go to globalconvenience.com now.